In this video, I'm going to show you how to create dual axis charts. To begin, we'll use our favorite measurement, which is cells. And let's add in the month continuous value that we created earlier. And also let's bring in profit. So in this case, we are trying to look at sales and profits over time. So let's bring profit here, and as you can see, it creates two graphs, one for month and profit and one for month and sales. To make this to put this and this in the same graph and make this a dual axis chart, we just click on profit and we click on dual axis, and just like that, this has become a dual axis chart. And you may have noticed here on the marked card, we now have 3 marks. So as you can see, measure names has been added to color automatically. Whenever you create a dual axis chart, measure name is automatically added to color to give you different colors for each measurement. And here we now have 3 marks instead of 1. We have all for adjusting everything. We have sales just for adjusting sales, and then we have profit just for adjusting profit. So for example, I could change the color in profit I could change profit to green and click OK, and now our profit is green in color. You could also double click here and let's say choose this for sales and click OK. Now the color for sales has changed. And of course, you could have done the same thing here. And from all, whenever you make changes in all, the changes you make in all affect both. So let's change, let's say, the size for both of them at the same time. So whenever you create a dual axis chart, you get 3 marks here. Mark for affecting everything, and a mark for each axis. As you may have noticed, the sales axis and the profit axis are using different scales. So the sales axis all the way to 200k and the profit axis is up to 30k. So they're using different scales. But we can synchronize the sales axis to the profit axis. And to do that, you just right click the second scale, the second axis, and you click on synchronize axis. Now this profit axis is now the same scale as the sales axis. And to unsynchronize it, take it back to how it was before, you can just right click and click on synchronize axis again, and now it goes back to the former scale. And of course, you can right click also on this axis, on the first axis, and click on synchronize axis. Now that sales axis and profit axis is synchronized, you can hide the profit axis by right clicking and then you click on show header, and that will hide it. Now that the sales axis and profit axis is shown by this single axis, we can edit this axis to let our users know that this axis represents sales and profit. And to do that, you right click and then you click on edit axis, and here you set the title to sales and profit, and as soon as you type that, your changes is made right here, and then you can close it. So now this axis is for both sales and profit. You could also have different measurement units in your dual axis. So let's go ahead and clear this, and let's bring in our continuous month, and let's bring in sales, And also let's bring in quantity. So how I showed you earlier is one way to create a dual axis. Another way to create a dual axis is just to drag the second measurement all the way to the end, and you see this black vertical line, and you just drop it, and that creates a dual axis chart as well. So you could create a dual axis chart by clicking on the second one and clicking dual axis, or you could just drag the second measure all the way to the end, see the black vertical line, and you drop it there. As you can see, the quantity axis is not the same units of measurement as the sales axis. So you can still build a dual axis chart using different units of measurement. Now you can also build a dual axis chart using mixed mark types. Now let's go ahead and remove quantity and replace quantity with profit. So if we remove quantity and take profit and drag it all the way to the end here, so now we have profit and now we have sales. And let's go ahead and synchronize these two axes. So let's say synchronize axis. Now these two axes are synchronized, and we want our sales to show up as bar graph. So what we do is we click on sales here, and then we choose the mark type to be bar. So now we have sales and profit on as a dual axis chart, but our sales is represented as bar graphs. And we can unsynchronize this, and it does look a little bit better. We could filter just to show only positive profits if we wanted to. We could also change our profit to be a bar, and then change our sales to be a line like that. And we could also synchronize both of them together. Now let's filter to just show positive profits. Why not? So drag profit to the filter, and then we click on sum, and then we want it to be at least, we want one that's from 0 and above, and then we click on apply, and then we click OK. So now our graph is just showing data with positive profits. We could change this back into a line graph. We could change this into a bar graph. We could change the color. Right? We could make our bar graph a bit bigger. We could make our line graph a whole lot smaller if we wanted to. So that's it for this video. That's basically how to build a dual axis chart. You can build it by using this drop down menu and clicking on dual axis. You could drag your axis all the way to the end. You could synchronize your two axes if they are the same unit. Even if they are not the same unit, you can still synchronize it, but that wouldn't be accurate. But if they are using the same units of measurement, you could synchronize them together. You could also build dual axis chart with two measures that doesn't have the same unit by using, let's say, something like quantity. You could do something like that. Now that's not very useful. Let's change this to a line graph. And that's basically it for this video, and I'll see you on the next one.